Hello, everybody out there in YouTube land. It's your t-shirted historian. And currently, I have no panel. So I don't know what's going to happen today. I don't know. Maybe it's just going to be me talking here for an hour. Maybe it's going to be me ranting for an hour. I could probably pull it off. I mean, I have to have enough good stuff to rant about, but I don't know if I do or not. I don't really feel that angry today. But we do have plenty of things out there that happened this week and last week, and there's all kinds of good things we can talk about. But I digress. Let's see. Some fun things today. Got up early, went to the store, grabbed me some Bang energy drinks, and found a brand new Bang out there that I've never seen or tried before called Any Means Orange. Supposed to have like some kind of tie-in with AMP. It's an AMP exclusive. I don't know. It's got a lightning bolt through it. Taste kind of reminds me of orange creamsicle sort of thing. I don't know. Most energy drinks, I'm not really drinking them for the taste. I'm just drinking them for the caffeine. And I guess that's probably the case with most people because if you drink energy drinks on a regular, they, for the most part, taste kind of like, ass. I mean, like licking one. And not in the good part. Yeah, I mean, it should provide me a nice caffeine boost to get through the program today. So, I was hoping Grim would be here today because I had a movie to discuss with him. But since he's not, I'm just going to go ahead and talk about something else I started watching again. And there was a show many years ago, I guess about almost 20 years ago now. Well, actually, give me a moment. How old was this show? How old was this show? Because I hate to be that far. Okay, 2014. Oh, I was way off. It was about 11 years ago. 2014, on Showtime, there was a show called Penny Dreadful. Some of y'all may have seen it. I was a huge fan of it. I looked forward to every single episode, every single season. I thought it was brilliant. I thought the dialogue was great. I thought the characters were just fantastic. The music was just absolutely masterful. The makeup was good. The violence was good. The horror was good. There were some scenes that were just genuinely unnerving, which is kind of surprising to me because I'm an old-time horror fan, and I think just about nothing scares me or bothers me. But this one managed to do it. If I can sum up what Penny Dreadful was, it was kind of like, let's take Alan Moore's League of Extraordinary Gentlemen and put it into an unrelenting horror show / drama. Actually, Lord Thoth, I thought season 2 was actually where it got really, really good. Season 3, it kind of dropped off a little bit, but yeah, I mean, it's just it had so many great characters, and some of them got even better as you started to find out who they were. And I don't want to spoil a whole lot for you by discussing a lot of that, but this was back in 2014, so this was all before the woke took over everything and wokeified it all and messed it all up. So one of the things that I really enjoyed about the way that show handled stuff was the fact that it tackled a lot of issues that we would be considering woke now. It handled people who were transgender. It handled people that were, racist. It handled homophobia. It handled women's rights. and just a lot of other subjects, it was a great show. But the way that it handled it, it was done in the context of the show with the principles of the show. It didn't hammer you in the face with it a whole lot until maybe third season. And it managed to get its points across really nicely, I thought. I mean, you couldn't really call any of the characters in the show good. They all had problems. They all had things to overcome. They were not perfect people, but that made them good characters. And I thought that was part of the appeal of the show. It was just well written, and it was well made, and it was just well put together. Everybody in the show was very interesting. Some of the characters really just stole the limelight the entire time that they were on the scene. I can't say enough good things about it. And then for some reason, the guy behind it, John Logan, decided, well, we're going to tie it all up with season 3. And he ended it in such a way as it left the worst taste in my mouth. Even worse than the grapefruit hops kombucha I had earlier. Ugh. If you could combine two worst tastes together, it would be grapefruit hops, because then you get sourness and you get bitterness. And that's literally what the ending of Penny Dreadful felt like. You had this really great show, and it ended on such a sour note. And, ostensibly John Logan says it's because he thought that the arc came to its conclusion. And my thought was, no, they probably must have told him they weren't going to fund it any further past season 3. I don't know if the viewership dropped off or what. I didn't research all the circumstances behind why it ended. I would just mourn the loss of the show. I think it had enough life in it. It could have gone for a few more seasons. It still had plenty of interesting characters. And part of the thing is, too, is it was using a lot of literary characters. John Talbot, the Wolfman. Victor Frankenstein and his creation. Dr. Jekyll. I can't really say witches, because their whole witchcraft mythology in that show was really unique, actually, and something that I thought was pretty cool. They had a character who was more or less basically kind of like Alan Quatermain, but not quite. They made references to the actual Penny Dreadfuls themselves, like Varney the Vampire. Yes, Dracula did show up in it eventually. But there were plenty of other literary characters out there that they could have included, or, plenty of other, monsters out there that they could have added to the show and given it, plenty more seasons to work with. And I think it would have been brilliant. I mean, you had a superstar cast. You had Timothy Dalton. You had Josh Hartnett. You had Eva Green. Oh my God, she's so beautiful. You had what's his name? McCrory, the guy who played Tom Bombadil recently. I have to admit, after seeing him in Penny Dreadful, and then seeing him go from that to Tom Bombadil, I'm kind of like, dude, you really took a step down, didn't you? Because every moment that McCrory is on the screen playing the creature, he absolutely steals it. I mean, and he's not a particularly handsome guy. In fact, as the creature, he's supposed to be downright ugly, but his delivery, his performance, everything about it is so absolutely wonderful that it's just kind of like you're mesmerized when he's on the screen and delivering his lines. He's so perfect in it. And I thought, man, that's a great vehicle for this guy. This guy could probably get his own show based on that, but that never materialized. So what did they do to follow this up? Well, a couple years later, they put out this thing called Penny Dreadful Los Angeles, or Dia de la Muerte, or whatever the hell they wanted to call it. I don't remember. It was crap. I watched it. It was one season. It was the most slap you in the face, racist, bigotist, thing I've ever seen in my whole life. And it was about Mexicans, of course. So yeah, I tuned into it. And I'm pretty sure Latino Slant did too. And he probably spoke about it as well. I was totally upset about it, and I thought it was terrible. I'm glad it only ran one season. But that made the hurt for the first series even worse, because I thought this show had enough legs on it. It could have gone for a few more seasons. They didn't have to shift gears and try to change the formula. That was a huge mistake. Now, do I think the show could be revived now? I really don't know. I'm afraid that with everything that we have suffered in the last 11 years, as far as Hollywood and DEI and all the other things that you want to claim, I think the show would get branded as a wokeified piece of trash that people would tune out, that they wouldn't want to watch it. And I guess that's something to think about is, I think narratives that appeal to people when they're talking about modern day problems or allegories for modern day issues, I think they're best handled when it's done as part of the scenery, as it comes up in the show, not artificially injected. Not, I don't think the problems need to be the core of the story and completely written around. I think rather they should add spice to the story, not be the story themselves, because you had all these really cool characters who were already established, were already doing their own thing, and they would run into other people who had these issues, such as, racism, homosexualism, all these other things. It wasn't the story itself. They were part of the story. And I think that's what made the old Star Trek series work. I think that's what made a lot of great television work, is when they didn't try to stick it in your face, when they didn't try to shame you, when they didn't try to make you feel like you were an idiot. And I think it's pretty sad, because I guess 2014 was probably one of the last, it ran for 3 years. So what, 2014, 2015, 2016? I guess those are about the last years that we had for good shows, as far as most things. I don't know. But anyway, I guess that's my rant. Anyway. Yeah. Oh, yeah. Tapani, yeah. Dorian Gray, yeah. Yeah, Dorian Gray was a good character in that show. Hey, Blackwall, it's good to see you. Driving with Dragons, good to see you too, buddy. Grimmy!
Hello.
How are you?
Bad pizza.
You sound like you're very far away from your microphone.
I am very far away from my microphone because my headset was unplugged, so I am hunched over my desk with the very, very short cable.
Oh my.
So, is that any better?
That's much better. Did you watch Penny Dreadful when it was on, or
yes,
afterward?
I don't remember much of it.
What?
I may not have watched the third season.
I thought the third season was the weakest, to be quite honest, but it still had some good moments. It still had some really powerful moments. But you don't remember much of it?
No.
I mean, it was 11 years ago, but...
yeah, and it felt like a bit of a Johnny come lately to League of Extraordinary Gentlemen to me. Bit of a sort of rehash.
Yeah, that's what I thought too. I thought it really kind of did feel like League of Extraordinary Gentlemen, but honestly, I thought it was, well, I hate to say this, better done than Alan Moore's, just because it had more room to breathe, and it seemed a little less intent on trying to shock you. Alan Moore's...
I don't know about that. Alex G went on to more and more volumes and brought in hundreds of references to Victorian and later pulp and so on literature.
And to think it was largely undone by that terrible movie.
I liked bits of the movie.
Yeah, bits of the movie were good. I think it's an interesting trope, is to take, literary characters and transpose them into fictional narratives together. I love that personally. I thought that was a brilliant move on his part, and it was a brilliant move on Penny Dreadful's part.
Yeah.
I wish somebody else would pick that trope up and run with it. But yeah, now that you're here, I can tell you about the other movie I saw, which was The Lair of the White Worm, which was shot back in 1988. And my God, it is the most aggressively British film I have ever seen in my whole life. I mean, it was like in the very first couple of minutes, you have like 3 different accents from 3 different regions going. I mean, you got a young Peter Capaldi for one thing, and you got a very young Hugh Grant with a unibrow.
Peter Capaldi's in it as well.
Right, that's what I said.
Well, I didn't hear you because I moved a millimeter too far and my headset unplugged.
Oh yeah, yeah. You had a young Peter Capaldi. Yeah. You had a young Hugh Grant. You had, like, within the first couple of minutes, you had like 3 different accents, all from different parts of the UK.
Yeah.
And you even had somebody referencing Spotted Dick in the first few minutes. So I was kind of like, oh my God, that's
And it gloriously made no sense whatsoever.
No, it did not. But it was fun. It was kind of that weird horror comedy British thing.
Kind of, but the comedy was more in the presentation, than the actual material.
Yeah, it was like it was almost self-referentially funny.
Yeah.
And you had Amanda Donohoe naked. Oof. I mean, come on now. She was hot. I mean, I guess she's in her 60s or 70s now, but oh God. Ooh, back then. Yeesh, kama. Actually, there was quite a bit of nudity in that one, if I remember, but I'd have to go back and watch it again, which I probably will.
Well, it was a Ken Russell film, so
it was a Ken Russell film. Yeah, I don't guess I've ever. What else did Ken Russell do? He did a lot of movies, didn't he?
Tons, and lots of stuff that was kind of outrage bait at the time, I suppose. The Devils, Altered States is one of his that people usually forget.
Oh, I remember seeing that and not really remembering much about it, or it not making a lot of sense to me.
Tommy, that was him.
That was I've got that one.
Yeah. Fuck, I can't remember loads.
That you remember those is enough for me. But oh my God, what do you have any opinions on that show or anything, or on that movie?
What, Lair of the White Worm?
Yeah.
It was an odd choice, presented in an odd way, and I think it's mostly notable these days because of the actors who went on to do other things, which often happens in horror, I think, because it's often people's gateway into acting.
Mm-hmm.
So it's interesting as a phenomenon, and it has a certain charm to it. I think I'd make it part of like a horror movie marathon or something.
Yeah, definitely. It is horror movie marathon.
Yeah, watch that and Wicker Man and I Bought a Motorcycle and some other British horror stuff. Maybe Dog Soldiers.
I haven't seen Dog Soldiers in forever. But yeah, if you were you can't see it. It's too dark. I have all my lights and stuff turned off because it's like, it's dark. Is that any better? Yeah, Ken Russell's Lair of the Right Worm. That's Amanda Donohoe on the cover, looking super duper hot and crawling out of her basket, and it's from the Vestron Video Collector's Edition set, which I love. I love everything from that set. the Vestron video stuff, the Kino Lorber stuff, the Arrow video stuff. All that stuff is great. Just pile that stuff on, shovel it to me, and let me drink my fill of 80s and 70s and 90s exploitation stuff. I'll eat it all day long. All right. Oh my God! Somebody put up a picture of Tron Ares, October 10th.
Ooh, I'm surprised.
Well, I'm gonna go watch it, but I have a doubt that it's gonna be as good as Legacy was. Because Legacy, with that wonderful Daft Punk soundtrack, they've decided to get Trent Reznor to do this one, and I don't know.
Could be interesting, depending what it's about.
Yeah.
Do we know what it's about yet?
I don't know what it's about yet. I haven't seen any trailers or anything. I know very little about it. I just know that I'm interested in it because it's a Tron movie, and that's about it.
Oh, Jared Leto's in it. It's going to be shit.
Oh, no. And there's another movie coming up, actually a little bit sooner than that should be worth checking out. Or at least I'm going to. And that is the new Naked Gun movie with Liam Neeson.
Yes. That might work.
I think it'll work. And here's why. Most people don't remember that Leslie Nielsen was originally a serious theater actor.
Yeah.
And he couldn't get any more work. So he transitioned to comedy, and he just kind of reinvented himself as this slapstick, hilarious person. And lo and behold, he relaunched his own career. And I can't believe Liam Neeson. I mean, that's just like, it's almost the same thing. Liam Neeson could pretty much have his pick of films, I would think. I mean, he's done everything from drama, action, everything. In fact, I think he doesn't want to do action anymore because he's gotten too old for it. At least in his mind. Well, I guess he's in his 70s?
I don't know.
I think so.
Old was Leslie Nielsen and when he was doing the Naked Gun films?
I think he might. He always looked old, so
yeah, he did kind of always look old.
I mean, that first Naked Gun was done back in 1988.
Yeah.
So you have to do some math foo for me real quick. But he was Leslie Nielsen was born in 1926.
Right.
So math foo says what? 1988 minus 1926. He was 62 years old when he did that film.
Yeah.
Which now I'm curious. Liam Neeson is 72.
Yeah. People age differently now.
They do. And
besides,
but
it's part of the joke when you put in an obvious stuntman in a wig. So
yeah, it is. So Liam is older than Leslie Nielsen was going into it.
I saw the little teaser where they're all sort of kneeling before pictures of their fathers, which is all the old crew, and saying how much they want to live up to them. And then there's Norbert, who was obviously, who there's just like a knowing look to camera and a head shake. So it does seem like they're keeping the humor.
DM Blackwell says, I stopped watching movies made in the last decade. It has made my life better. Well, nobody could fault you for not wanting to see a movie made in the last 10 years, because pretty much by and large, they're all shit. You have a few notable exceptions, but yeah. I got a special set of skills and a lot of back pain. Yeah, no kidding. In his case. So I don't know, man. I don't know. Maybe cinema is coming back. Maybe. I mean, I know that that Hollywood is losing lots and lots of money at the theaters because stuff is only staying in the theaters for like a week or so, or a couple weeks, and then it's like pretty much going directly to streaming services. Yeah. So that's killing theaters. So the only reason to go to a movie theater anymore, I mean, because let's be honest, you're not walking out of a movie theater without paying less than $20.
Yeah.
On average. More, most likely. But I'm just saying on average, $20. And what are you paying for? You're paying for hopefully a comfortable seat. Kind of, because they've got the nice theater loungers now. They're very nice. I remember when we didn't have those. But you're paying for that. You're paying for an overpriced bucket of popcorn, maybe an overpriced drink or an overpriced candy bar or whatever, to sit in a movie theater with a whole bunch of other people, depending on how crowded it is, who are, going to have crying babies or snorting or checking out their phones, even though they're not supposed to be, and trying to watch a film.
Yeah.
And here we have a perfect person to talk to about that. Hi, Shanatsky.
Hey, what's up?
Not much. What are you doing?
Waking up.
Waking up? Jesus, man. It's like almost 4:30.
Yeah, that's what you do on days off. You sleep. Wake up.
Not me. I woke up nice and bright and early at 7 o'clock, ran down to the grocery store and did a little bit of shopping, came back home, and I felt great ever since.
Lucky.
But yeah. Well, we were just talking about stuff. I started off with Penny Dreadful, and then we went on to Lair of the White Worm. Then we're just discussing the Naked Gun, the new one with Liam Neeson.
I saw no naked guns in that trailer. I'm very disappointed.
Daniel from Driving with Dragons. Daniel, do you ever want to come on this show? Just let me know, dude. Let me know if you want to come on. I will put you on here, okay? And Blackwall, I wouldn't mind getting you back on too, just to talk about games in general. We don't have to talk about your game in particular, but trust Hollyweird about as much as you trust a middle-aged fat man dressed as a baby to babysit a preschool. Ew. Yeah, not me. But I don't know, man. I think Hollywood is tired of losing money. I mean, obviously the failure of Snow White is kind of another nail in Disney's coffin. The fact that
supposedly they're stopping the live action remakes because
of God, I would hope so. The fact that a Jason Statham movie of all things beat it out. And Statham, I like Statham, okay? I do. I'm not talking shit about Statham. But Statham's not exactly the kind of guy I would go to the movie theater to go watch. Unless it was like in a Guy Ritchie film or something. But I think the last Statham movie I actually went to the theater to go see was Transporter 2. And I'm being dead serious.
What? He's always looking for jobs.
Yeah, he really is. He's
jobs.
Always looking for jobs. But I mean, the fact that Statham is always kind of one of those. He's an action hero. He's always kind of one of those guys I expect to be making films that just go pretty much direct to video or direct to streaming.
Yeah.
So for one of his films to beat out the Snow White movie is, wow, that's pretty telling, man.
Didn't that Looney Tunes film do really well as well?
I don't know. I hadn't heard.
Better than they were expecting.
Probably. I wouldn't be surprised.
Yeah, I think I read somewhere that they're going to release that Wile E. Coyote versus Acme movie because that other one did well.
Well, the same company bought them, and I have no idea who Ketchup is, so it could just be someone was a fan of Looney Tunes who is very rich. And just said, oh, you ain't going to release this? Well, I am.
Mm-hmm.
Screw you, buddy.
Mm-hmm. So I don't know, man. Hollywood is taking some interesting turns. Now, kind of to shift gears a little bit and talk some role playing stuff. Okay, so I'm not. First off, I'm not casting criticism. I'm not saying I'm for. I'm not saying against. I'm not saying this is bad. But what I do want to say is, it's Trump has put out his tariffs on everything, and it seems to be affecting a lot of things. Because I've got all my anime friends are all, screaming at me, telling me that their anime, their ramen noodles, and all their little treats they get from Japan, like myself, are all going to go up in price because of the tariffs. They tried to claim that the Nintendo Switch 2 is going to go up in price because of tariffs, and they canceled a bunch of pre-orders for it. And of course, Jim has already put out a video on how the tariffs are going to be affecting TTRPGs.
Yep. It's more of a worry for board games, but it will have an effect on the RPG industry, and particularly Kickstarters, I think.
Yeah. I'll just say this. Whether I support Trump or not is not the issue. The point is, at this point, it's stupid to want your president to fail. It's stupid to want your government to fail. So, for better or for worse, he's in the office for 4 years. So, I hope he doesn't fail. I hope he knows what he's doing. I hope that what happens is the market, I know the market's going to get kind of weird for a little bit, and prices will probably go up for a little bit. But then I'm hoping that everything will stabilize and come back down, and everything will get back to normal. Because we've already seen a few improvements. I mean, at the grocery store, eggs don't cost us, our firstborn children anymore. So that's a good thing. And that's what I think.
But yeah,
that's kind of what I think too. Yeah, it depends on his actual goals, and it's pressured people to do what we want. Carrot and stick is temporary and fine. Yeah.
I'm not sure about that, because there's an awful lot of long-term damage which would then be incurred for short-term gain, which is the wrong way around to do it.
Oh, I don't know. Like I said, I hope it works out. I really do. Like I said, I think it's ridiculous that some people are out there, already protesting in droves, and all. I'm just kind of like, you want your government to succeed. You don't want it to fail. And yeah, Blackwall's not going to be affected because he prints and binds books exclusively in the USA. Troll Lord Games is going to be fine because all their stuff is locally sourced, USA manufactured, and everything else.
Paper?
All their stuff is locally sourced.
Because it's hard to get paper in the US, and if you weren't getting it from China, you used to be getting it from Canada, which has its own issues as well. And if you've got more and more people going after US sourced paper, that's going to present more problems. And there's already been a problem with print costs going up. The safe harbor from the disruption when it comes to books is print on demand, I'm afraid to say, because that can all be printed locally within whatever economic zone you're in, and therefore you can avoid the tariffs. Drive-through seems to have taken that stance, but I'm not sure how local they can go. I don't think they have printers as widespread as Lulu does, but they seem to be saying, the price rises that we put in before have nothing to do with this. Fine, makes sense, because they put them in before, and that's already made it more extortionate to go through them. But they don't seem to foresee themselves running into any problems.
Mm-hmm. And Daniel says paper mills all over the South, like a lot of things, we produce more to sell abroad than to use here. Yeah, that's true. That is true. And yeah, Blackwall's right. Hammer Mill is made here in the U.S., among others. I can't remember all the different
capacity. I'm sure there are papers made. There's a specialist paper mill not that far from me that used to make paper for banknotes, but it's not general consumption.
Yeah. But I don't know. Lightning Source is through who DTRPG goes through, and they're located over in Tennessee, so they're a Southern company.
They're a
I
UK
imagine.
company, Lightning Source.
Hmm?
Lightning Source is a UK company. They might have a branch or an office there, but it's a British company, unless they've moved their headquarters.
I'm not sure, but I mean, it's like every DTRPG book I've had printed out has Lightning Source on it, and it's in Tennessee.
That might be their America zone printing house.
Yeah, and also there is Amazon Print on Demand, which I think is also fulfilled by Lightning Source. So
that would explain the similarly not as good quality.
Yeah.
Though drive-through say that the quality has improved, so I might have to see something new printed by drive-through and judge for myself.
I've got something new printed by them. I got their Mutant Epoch add-on book, which it's massive. I mean, I didn't realize how big of a tome it was, but it's huge. It's like almost 400 or 500 pages.
And black and white?
No, it's just black and white. It's not color. I wish it was color.
Did you get hardcover? Sorry, technical questions, chat. I'm sorry. Is it hardcover or softcover?
It is hardcover.
Okay. Yeah. So it's the soft covers tend to curl, and they tend to have this waxy finish on them that isn't gloss and isn't matte and just feels kind of horrible.
Well, I do have something that was printed by them just a few weeks ago. That is soft cover. I got the a reprint of the Mokele book from World War the Apocalypse.
Ah, cool.
Yeah, there he goes. Yeah, Heil Quaker Boulevard, Laverne, Tennessee. That's the one.
Mind you, it's many years ago when I tried using them, but that was enough to put me off forever. So.
I haven't noticed a whole lot of paper curl on the Mokele book yet, but I can say that I have one of my vampire books that I have reprinted in there, in softback, and it's in my bathroom, in my reading room. So it's been exposed to all kinds of water based issues as far as steam and stuff. And
is that how they stress test paperback books now? Mexican bathroom.
Yeah, pretty much.
Mexican bathrooms.
Mexican bathroom stress testing.
Every chicken soup of the soul is the baseline for the bathrooms.
Well, I don't read those, so I just read game books.
No, it's just there's one book I'd find in a bathroom the most. It is one of those chicken soup for the soul books.
Well, it sure isn't going to be a Walt Whitman book, is it?
Oh.
Breaking Bad reference there.
Yep.
I love that show. I need to watch it again as soon as I finish Penny Dreadful.
Are you going to watch just the original Penny Dreadful, or are you going to do the Los Angeles one too?
Oh God, no. I don't even own a copy of that. I watched it whenever it came out, and I hated it. I hated every damn episode of it. I don't think I liked a single one.
Oh, damn. That sucks, because I hadn't seen it. I just go, was Nellie Dorner? Like, I like her.
Natalie Dormer plays like 3 different roles, and at one point she plays like a Chicana. And hearing her deliver a Chicano accent, it infuriated me. Because I was just kind of like, you sound so fake.
Yeah, despite what is claimed by many, no offense to you, Grim, but the English are not the only actors in the fucking world for every fucking role.
Just the best ones.
Well,
training.
Actually, I was surprised, because not all the actors in Penny Dreadful were English either. I mean, the kid who played Dorian Gray is an American.
Well, the Americans are just English with extra steps.
I guess so. And of course, Josh Hartnett is, he's American as they get. But he was playing an American a Westerner. So, I mean, he was just kind of being Josh Hartnett. I don't know what else to say. I mean, he's a good actor, though. I liked him in that role a lot as Ethan Chandler / Lawrence Talbot, the Wolfman.
Yeah. I never really watched it. It's just one of those things it sounded interesting. I just never got around to it.
You should get around to it at least once. Just watch all 3 seasons once, and then if you hated it, then just file it away, never watch it again. But if you loved it, you'll be like me, and every once in a while, every few years, you'll drag it down to watch it again and really enjoy it and get into it and realize what made you fall in love with it, like I did. And keep in mind, it was made back in 2014, so it predated the woke movement. And it's like I said at the beginning of the show, it handled topics that we would consider to be woke back then, and it handled it with a degree of sophistication and a way that it didn't necessarily interfere with or take center stage in the main story. Kind of like, Star Trek used to be able to do that. Used to.
Yeah, it's amazing how the golden age of television led to the shit age of television.
I know. Well, when you let the wrong people take control of the media, this is what happens. But do I watch the new Daredevil show? No, I don't. I refuse to pay for a Disney subscription because, frankly, there's nothing on their channel I really want to watch. Star Wars is a pile of shit. And there's nothing from that I want to watch. Marvel, it died. I mean, they haven't had anything good since Infinity War. So why? I mean, okay, Spider-Man No Way Home, great. That was a great movie. It was a one-off. Fantastic. Loved it. Cried my way through it. Guardians of the Galaxy 3 was... It was okay. It was kind of a nice send-off, but even it didn't quite have the punch that, Guardians of the Galaxy 1 and 2 did.
I just stop with Endgame, and like every time I hear about the next thing, I'm just like, oh god, that was the right call.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, that's pretty much it for me too. It's like I really didn't watch a whole lot after Endgame, although I did make the mistake of picking up Eternals because a friend of mine recommended it, so I watched it, and then I realized
your friend I had.
Yeah, I realized he was trolling me.
No. It's like, hey, I was just trying to tell you, the nuclear Armageddon is going to happen because of the gays. That's all he was trying to tell you.
Yeah, I guess so. God, that movie was terrible, man. I don't necessarily know if I blame the director for that one or the writer, because I'm not sure who's at fault for why that movie sucks so bad.
Well, with how heavily managed it is, and like you're basically doing the producer's movie, it's all Kevin Feige.
Okay, well,
like he's the person centrally responsible for everything, so it's his fault.
Well, how the hell did he fall off so hard? Because it's like first 10 movies were great, huh?
Was it Nelson Peltz, the guy that they fired?
Yeah,
who has basically had the Marvel Creative Committee, which is basically a bunch of people who are about like overseeing things and make sure that the quality was up there for everything.
Mm-hmm.
That got disbanded.
Oh.
Yeah. He made a power play. He did a Neil Druckmann. Yeah,
that worked out really well for Neil. Speaking of which, Last of Us 2 Remastered just released on PC. And I won't play it. I will play it if somebody buys it for me. I'll even play it on a stream if somebody wants to see me play it that bad. But I'm not going to waste my money on it.
Don't give them money.
I don't want to. I won't. I mean, I've got car payments. I can't afford extras. But, oh man. I mean, Although I will say this, out of all the systems that have started coming out, I think Nintendo Switch 2 has cemented itself as being the next one to buy. I mean, PC master race like myself notwithstanding.
I'm waiting to see how much the Backlash 4 actually affects it, because Nintendo basically seems to have nostalgia insurance. No matter how dickish they get, no matter how terrible they are, people go, it's like, oh, I remember Mario.
Mm-hmm. Well, they unveiled this little gem as a Nintendo exclusive, which actually pissed me off to no end, because all that tells me is it's another case of, hey, you remember Bloodborne? Well, guess what? We're going to once again make a console exclusive that you can't touch. And it was this. So this is the trailer for The Dusk Bloods, which is FromSoft's brand new game, coming out only on the Switch 2.
I wonder how much money they gave them for that.
It had to be a lot. For another console exclusive, because you know how much people have been begging them for Bloodborne 2?
My blood. I give you my life.
It's a little stuttery, sorry.
Turn, O wheel.
This is more vampire focused. I haven't
transport
seen
him.
this one.
Yeah, it is a lot more vampire focused. In fact, your character is shown
To humanity.
sucking the blood a little bit.
Oh, great. I liked Code Vein.
A lot of people did. Now, what's funny about that is you can see it's a decal. It's not a scar, because it has no depth. But yeah, once again, we've got pretty much that whole Bloodborne look, although there's some modern looking stuff going on with it as well.
Oh, look, it's modern day London.
Basically. I recorded this at slightly lower resolution so that it wouldn't stutter so much, but it's stuttering anyway, because, I don't know, StreamYard, I guess. This character really seems out of place for a FromSoft game.
Ah, steampunk.
Yeah, that's what I thought immediately, is I'm like, oh, it's a little bit steampunky.
Just pretend he's using magic to fly in.
Well, then you got this thing, which kind of looks cyborgy, kinda, sorta. Yeah, you see, he just killed somebody and sucked their soul out. That's just some body horror right there. Straight up.
He's not fat, he's big boned.
Close your eyes and contemplate now the moon, as befits the soon to depart.
I pray that you are able, carrier of blood.
I'm not sure why it's so choppy, but I'm not getting any stream warnings or anything. So. And yes, they are reusing assets as far as their animation again. You can tell, because I'm already seeing stuff from, Elden Ring and...
The moon tears will flow for one, and one alone.
That's straight up like one of the axes from Elden Ring, I think. But yeah, there we go. It's going to be on the Switch, and it's a Switch 2 exclusive. And we have some kind of sleeping rat thing. I don't know what that is. Or is it a bat?
Yeah, if
So
you know
that's
anything
coming.
about Japan, they love their Europe and France from the old days.
I mean, they really do. I tell you who doesn't like who. I don't know who is responsible for it, by the way. But I haven't watched an episode of it yet because I don't want to. But apparently, the Devil May Cry anime dropped on Netflix. And I mean, you know, they've been trying to hype the shit out of this thing for the last few months, saying, "Oh, it's got a brand new soundtrack by, or it's got a brand new song by Evanescence and all this stuff." And I'm just kind of like, okay, so you know, you paid Amy enough money, and she decided to put out for you, and
It's even funnier. They released a quote AMV for it, which to me is fucking hilarious. Because you probably don't know this.
mm-hmm.
A long, long time ago, animemusicvideos.org. Well, there was a bit of a scare because I think it was Seether, Creed, and Evanescence, or the three bands in particular. But one of those bands, someone had like basically shown like the band members directly, and lawyers got involved, and we're actually talking to the people that were running the site. So as a result of those discussions, was it Seether, Creed, and like Evanescence got pulled from being able to be listed and hosted on the site. Period.
For showing the band members.
Someone showed the band members AMVs. Remember, fan vids, they use their songs, their copyright materials.
Okay.
Yeah. So that to me is really fucking hilarious then if there's a quote AMV to Evanescence. Because, you know, back when, 2000s, like Evanescence was like Linkin Park. It was one of those bands that, you know, popular with kids. So,
Yep.
hey, if I'm putting my editing program together, what do I want? What song do I want to edit? I want to Wake Me Up Inside. I'll do that to Dragon Ball Z or Bleach or Naruto.
I remember when Wake Me Up Inside first came out, and I remember I enjoyed the song, but then it got like overplayed to hell and back. But my friend bought the album, and we listened to the entire album, and I picked a different song. I think I picked Tourniquet. I said, man, this song Tourniquet's going to be probably one of the next big hits. I was completely wrong. Because I was like, Tourniquet's got a great catchy riff, and it's going to be a good song. Everybody's going to want to hear this one, and it never got any play whatsoever. And the only thing I can think of as to why it never made it is because it references God directly in it, and I'm just kind of like, oh, I bet all the radio stations and stuff backed away from it.
Yeah, well, it's also just the whole thing. It's literally hello fellow kids for like anime. It's like I don't get Devil May Cry has a set soundscape, set artists that you can go to, DJs, and he goes, I'm gonna pull the 2000s Edgelord soundtrack for it.
Mm-hmm.
Like we're putting in Limp Bizkit.
I'm like, how much did they have to pay for all that shit? That drove the price up. No wonder they're trying to hype it up so much.
It doesn't matter when you're getting Netflix's money for it. If they're
Also
willing to foot
true.
the bill.
Yeah, I mean Netflix got that money. They got that crazy, crazy money. But anyway, something to note. This is Lady from Devil May Cry 3 and what is it, 4 and 5, I think. I don't know. I never played past the first one because honestly, I wasn't interested in the other ones. I'm sorry.
Hey man, everyone in Devil May Cry was hot. It was great.
I remember the first one. The first one was okay, but I never really got into it after that first one. It's just like Onimusha. I never got into beyond the first one either. But I did play them. I bought them. I played them. But yeah, this is the character Lady, who is supposed to be literally a demon created to destroy, Dante and all them, right? And this is her from the video game series. Right? Okay. So, yeah, you hold that thought.
Oh, I'm not seeing anything.
You didn't see it? How about now?
It's still a 3 panel. I guess it's just not showing up on my end. StreamYards is weird. But I know what she looks like.
Yeah. All you guys out there in the audience can see this, right? I hope so. because otherwise it's kind of like, why am I doing this? You're going, what the hell is he doing? Is it T-shirt? Are you having a senior moment or something? So this is what she looks like in the cartoon.
That's a dude.
Yeah. Yeah, it is. Flat ass, big biceps, robust chest in the wrong direction.
I mean, is that supposed to be a dude in the series?
No, that's supposed to be Lady. That was the character I just put up with 3 different body shots from 3 different games.
Yep. And the clip that's going around for this thing is America invades hell, and it's basically the invasion of Iraq to American Idiot. I'm not making this up.
Yeah. Yeah. I don't know if I even want to watch this just to critique it. I mean, I subjected myself to Castlevania Bloodlines. The first one because I was really hoping it was going to be good because I was a fan of Castlevania, but then the first season ended up being terrible, and then I just sat through the second one just to see if it got any better, and it didn't. And I'm a huge Castlevania fan. I don't even care about Devil May Cry, so I don't really know if I'm going to waste my time on this shit.
There is no God, only right triangles.
I mean, Jesus.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes, the one series where you want or you need to emphasize your atheism is the vampire killing series.
That's true. Yeah. It's like, oh no, they're not scared off because it's a symbol of God. No, they're scared off because they don't know geometry. Okay. That makes a whole lot of sense.
Doors would fucking scare them.
I was about to say, yeah, I mean, they would never be able to ride in a car.
I don't know. I think circles would be scarier because pi. Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
Oh yeah.
That would fuck you up.
Yeah, it would. It would.
3.14, and then they start having a seizure.
Just drive them off with a slice of apple pie or something.
Well, we know Chinese vampires have OCD, so it might carry over to Western vampires.
Oh, I mean, there's all kinds of vampire myths, like, like if you scatter rice in front of them or anything else like that, they'll have to stop to count it.
Yeah.
I don't know.
And if they step on sticky rice, it absorbs some of their demon chi.
That actually was one of my favorite moments in the X-File when Mulder's going against the vampire. He throws the rice on the ground. And he's just like, "Oh man, you're in big trouble." Once you get done, he starts picking the rice up, and then Mulder faints.
Oh my gosh.
But that whole episode was a comedy, so it was supposed to be ridiculous. Unlike
My
this.
favorite X-Files moment was after season after season after season of Mulder being knocked around and dropping his gun behind radiators and so on. He finally pulled one from his ankle holster.
That's almost like that kind of reminds me of the Boot Hill game that I was in. One of the other guys was playing a character named Rattler Bob. And Rattler Bob had 2 guns on his hips, and then he had 2 more strapped down a little bit lower on his thighs, and then he had 2 in his boots. I mean, literally. I mean, he was carrying 6 guns. So guess how Rattler Bob died?
They went off.
No. He was facing down some desperados or something like that in a bar, and they all grabbed his pistols out of his holsters that were right there and killed him with his own guns.
That would be quite a dramatic moment.
Yes.
Yep.
Yes. Boot Hill games used to be fun.
Yeah. When I was growing up, and I still actually thinking back to X-Files now, I realize you're supposed to think Mulder's the crazy one and Scully's the same one. I make the argument it's the exact opposite. Because Mulder's right like 95% of the time, as weird as he can be. And Scully constantly sees like aliens, the Wendigo and God knows what else, and goes, next time she runs into something, it's like, there's no way this could possibly exist.
Yeah. Well, all right. To bring it back around to games, and for something you guys out there in the audience can participate in, my mouth stopped working for some reason. All right. So yesterday, our friend Patty's Parlor Games, who is supposed to be part of this panel, but he's always working, he's always busy, he's always, but it's okay. Said that being really tired of the lazy Susan of RPG takes to argue over, I offer you a new one. He says, I hate charisma checks of all kinds. To lie, to discern lies, persuade, bluff, seduce especially. I have tested not using them, and I will not be using them in my games or game design. And this kind of goes along with something that I also believe, which is the charisma stat is the most misunderstood stat in all of D&D. Or in role-playing games in general, because everything kind of has a charisma stat these days.
I kind of like how Cyberpunk did it, where there was attractiveness, and then there was social.
Yeah. See, that is a better system. Because charisma has been, I've seen it mistaken for how good a character physically looks, to, you know, their ability to sway others with their words, you know, to just a degree of their overall commanding presence or whatever. And I'm just kind of like, well, which the hell is it? I mean, it's like, you know, when they point out examples, they're inconsistent because, you know, they point out this good-looking person as having a high charisma, but then they also point out, like, you know, Adolf Schlittler as having a high charisma, and I'm kind of like, he's not exactly the most handsome-looking dude I've ever seen. So,
well, unless you're a Jungfrau in 1930s Germany, then you might find him irresistible.
I guess maybe I'm just not, you know, he's just not my type. Maybe that's what
More
it is.
Lebensraum, my dear.
But see, that's the thing though. That's the thing though. How could you make a charisma stat? How could you make one stat that encompasses attractiveness for your character to everybody when everybody's tastes run to something different? I mean, like, you know, some chick walking up to me with her bare feet is going to turn me on, but it's probably going to make Grim run the other way.
Yeah.
All I'll say is, I guess if it's high enough, just Sydney Sweeney.
I mean, yeah, I think there's almost.
I think it's a combination stat, so it's a bit of everything. Some people are just, you know, easier to get on with or have a certain je ne sais quoi. You know, well, you can be attractive and a horrible person that no one wants to go near. You know, but aesthetically, you can be beautiful, or you can be a charming motherfucker who looks like a pig that was left out in the sun too long. You know.
Yeah, I mean, like, you know, what is it? Lemmy from Motorhead got all kinds of pussy, but, you know, the dude had some huge facial warts.
Yeah.
Danny DeVito, I'd say that's a person who's got good charisma.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
So when it comes to player characters, like, we play characters that aren't like ourselves in lots of ways, right? So you're not a wizard. You can't cast spells. You're not a barbarian who can break down doors with a flex of his pinky finger. You know, and we can do all these things that we can't do. But when it comes to social interactions, you know, you're kind of pulled in two directions here. Because on the one hand, you might want to play a character who has a lot more riz than you do, right? And at the same time, if Timmy across the table has huge amounts of charisma in real life, but is playing Thrognor, the intelligence 3, comeliness 3, charisma 3 barbarian, you know, he shouldn't be charming the pants off everything with his roleplay. So I think some kind of combination approach probably seems best.
Mm-hmm. And Daniel says, charisma is your force of personality, the ability to suck the air out of a room and make people pay attention. I've always famously said that there's some actors have that ability. Like, Malcolm McDowell is my favorite example, because it's like, it doesn't matter what the movie is. It doesn't matter how big or how tiny the part is. Malcolm McDowell was in Cyborg 3, The Recycler, a film that probably most people have never even imagined existed. But he was in it, and I think he was in it for all of about 5 to 10 minutes tops. No, probably less than 10 minutes. Probably closer to like 5 to 7 or 8 minutes. I'd have to really time it. But in the very, very short time that he's in the film, he absolutely just chews the landscape, and he just steals the whole show. And I mean, and he's acting against Richard Lynch, who is himself one of those just super duper captivating actors, mostly because, he was so badly disfigured by the fire that he set himself on. But you can look these guys up. But, Malcolm McDowell is one of those guys you can put into any kind of a role, and he will make it very, very special by the way he does his line delivery and everything else. Same thing with guys like, Christopher Walken and all these other guys. Walken was only in that Tarantino movie, for just a few minutes, but he delivered that monologue so well that everybody remembers that, I wore this uncomfortable piece of metal up my ass for 2 years.
You gotta wonder for Malcolm McDowell, do people just go up and go, okay, we just want you to play Alex again? And he goes, oh, okay.
Well, Alex wasn't even the peak of his performances, in my opinion. I mean, he was in so many different movies, and he was so different in all of them.
He plays. They like to cast him a lot as villains, and I always go, yeah, they're trying to do the whole Alex thing with him. Just be Malcolm McDowell and evil. It's like, Alex.
But that's the thing. He's played villains in a lot of roles, but I never really got the sense that he was just rehashing Alex. Alex kind of had his own crazy look and sense about him.
Yeah. I'm not saying he's doing. I'm saying that's what the people behind it. It's similar to how it was at Garcia Husberger. What's it? The Breaking Bad. The guy that played Gus. It is basically cast. I look at it and wonder how many.
Giancarlo Esposito.
Yeah, Giancarlo Esposito. Yeah, how many times did they just cast and go, okay, just do Gus again? We want you to be terrifying bad guy.
Well, that's the difference. I mean, it's like, okay, Giancarlo Esposito is kind of tired at this point, in my opinion, because it's like, yeah, they keep casting him to be a villain, and they basically keep expecting him to more or less be Gus Fring again and again and again and again. And he's not. He tries to bring some little changes and nuances to his performances so that he's not that character every single time. But I think that's who they want him to be. Or they figure, he did such a great villain that time. Let's see what he does with this villain. But, that's what made Malcolm McDowell's performances so great, is the fact that, the dude didn't necessarily play every role the same. I mean, if you watch him in what is it? The first Next Generation movie, Star Trek. I don't remember what the hell it's called anymore.
First Contact.
First Contact. Yeah, First Contact.
No. Generations.
No. That was Generations. Yeah, First Contact was the second one.
Yeah.
Yeah, Generations. Man, he was a great villain in that. I mean, he was, and he didn't play anything like Alex. So it's just like, he's just a magical actor. But that's a dude who, he doesn't necessarily look like, a perfect 10 or a perfect 8 or whatever like that. But he has like a charisma that's got to be at least a 20.
He's one of those actors who renders whatever he's in a lot more watchable.
Mm-hmm.
Yep. What we used to call the Lance Henriksen effect.
Yeah.
I love Lance.
Everybody loves Lance Henriksen, yeah.
And he's been in some right horrible films.
Oh, God, yeah. He's been in some terrible movies. And, yeah, they are more watchable because of him. The other guy, too, is like, people can sit here and talk so much dog shit about the first Dungeons & Dragons movie that was made back in 2000. But between Jeremy Irons, just totally stealing every single scene that he was in and chewing it up. And Bruce Payne chewing it up every couple of minutes. It's like those two guys made the damn film.
And meanwhile, was it Marlon Wayans thought he could hold a candle to them?
Jeremy Irons was the only reason I got through that terrible Watchmen series.
Yeah, same here. The Wokeman. Yeah. I mean, literally, that was the only reason I watched it, was to see Jeremy Irons as Ozymandias. Everything else just is kind of like I don't remember what I watched.
Did you know America was racist? I didn't know America was racist till the TV show told me.
Oh, no. And they gave all the power in the universe to a black woman. Oh. Nothing bad could come from that.
Hey, remember when Dr. Manhattan left at the end of the comic? What if he didn't?
Yeah. I just... that show was terrible.
How can we kill Alan Moore without laying a finger on him? How can we cause an aneurysm in Northampton?
Yeah, I'd almost respect the series if that turned out to the exact reason. Why did you do this? We wanted to kill Alan Moore, but we didn't want to go to jail.
All we managed to get was his soul. We missed everything else.
I mean, I guess if you really wanted to ever torture Alan Moore for his secrets, you could make him sit through that and the rest of his movie adaptations.
Go.
Oh, how many snakes did he sacrifice to Glycon to try to get the producers killed, and then just start shouting the heavens like, "Why doesn't it work? I killed 1,000 snakes. Why are they still alive?"
Poor guy.
I admire anyone who can stay that angry for the majority of their career. It's part of why I like Harlan Ellison as well.
Yeah. Harlan Ellison was the man who never stopped being angry about shit.
Yeah.
City on the Edge of Forever was all mine.
Oh, I just love though that he did fuck over James Cameron. I do love that.
Yes, he did. Yes, he did. Oh my gosh. Cameron has kind of dropped off as a storyteller as well. I mean, I didn't bother to watch Avatar 2, and I'm even less interested in Avatar 3. Although I do understand that Avatar 2 gave us a really, really good soliloquy that everybody is quoting. Unfortunately, it's from the bad guy. Because it was this one right here.
If it's the one I'm thinking of, that's not even in the movie. That's something someone made up. That's like 1,000,000 times better writing than anything ever. Yeah, this is not in any of the movies.
This is not in the movie? I thought it was.
It sounds like something that would be in a movie. That's how good it is.
Wow. Yeah, my understanding of Avatar 2 is it just kind of like it actually made you like the humans better after seeing it. Just because you found out, how stupid the damn, blue monkeys were.
Well, James Cameron is a techno fetishist boomer.
Well, I could get in along with that. I'm a techno fetishist, so
Yeah, he's like, I can tell that he wants the whole, Alt Cunningham thing. Like, he wants to upload and transcend humanity.
I would too.
Transmetropolitan, or whatever that Warren Ellis comic was.
Oh, Transmetropolitan was genius. I love Transmetropolitan. I love that series so much. That was good shit.
Yep.
But yeah, I don't understand why they make so much when the basic thematic point is humanity is evil and you're better if you transcend out of it. And then you can be a perfect blue Smurf person living in an idyllic paradise.
Blue rabbits fucking. Blue rabbits fucking.
I mean, the little hair things, they're dicks, so they just put their dicks in everything.
Yeah, I mean, animals, plants, each other, whatever. Okay.
No judgment.
Yeah,
don't
I mean,
shame him.
yeah, I mean, not everybody wears their genitals in the same place.
James Cameron has a very specific kink.
I mean, it must be why he got divorced from a hottie like Linda Hamilton.
Well, she's kind of crazy from what I understand, so I can understand.
Yeah, maybe so.
His kink is so shameful he can only indulge in it at the bottom of the Marianas Trench in a sealed submarine.
Well, I mean, okay, we make a lot of jokes about dungeon masters and game masters embroiling you in their special world, their magical world. How many directors do you think have done that? Because I mean, I personally, I only watch Quentin Tarantino films for the feet. So,
Well, look. It was either run RPG games or direct series for Nickelodeon. All right, I chose the better option.
Well, let's see. Was it rumors? Ridley Scott apparently did that a lot, at least back in the 90s. I'm not. I don't think he does it now.
That's just why his movies all suck now.
Bring back Kink.
Yeah.
Bring back trying to bang your actress.
Yeah, I mean, seriously, it's like, yeah. Please bring back Hollywood. Please bring back cocaine. Please bring back, trying to bang your lead actress or directors trying to do that and all that. Because, I mean,
Yeah, apparently
it created some great films.
Apparently, he tried to do that with Sean Young. I mean, she's talked openly about that, and apparently he was actually banging one of the other replicant actresses on the movie. So, supposedly,
I mean, I've only met her once. I guess I could ask her next time, but
I don't think that would be a cool question to ask. It's like, so did this happened, and you just, why is there a fist in my face suddenly?
hey, I have a camera. Worst thing she can do is shut it off. But
Next question from the audience.
Yeah.
You, Mr. Shirt. Is Ridley Scott good in bed?
Jesus, she was like what, 18 or 19 years old on Blade Runner. So Jesus, she didn't know what the fuck she was doing. She didn't know what she was getting into. Cocaine was new.
And the past is another country.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes, it is, and it's one forever behind us that we will never return to, I fear. But
I just miss basic comprehension for basic history. I'm not saying everything has to be right, but having newspapers in ancient Rome might be a bad idea.
yeah, kind of like, that's before the printing press. How'd that happen? But I don't know. I don't get it.
It's just Ridley Scott can't write. Like he's a great visualist. No doubt.
Yes. Yeah, he's really good at visually showing you all kinds of great stuff. But yeah, he needs to stay out of the writing room because it's pretty obvious he doesn't know what he's doing. Although, his little Ridley Graham stuff, I always thought that was really cool how he sets up all his shots by literally drawing them out like a cartoon or like a comic. And I used to admire him for that.
Yeah, I have no doubt that whatever he imagines, he has the ability to translate whatever ends up coming into his imagination into reality. The problem is, it's whatever he's imagining when he's reading a script.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, writing it, not so much, I guess.
Yep.
Anyway, I digress. All right, guys. Well, I think our hour is well past our time. So thank y'all very much for hanging out with me and chatting with me and discussing some of the cool stuff we got out there and some of the not cool stuff. I mean, even though it was a lot of reminiscing, it's kind of felt a little bit more like a Tuesday than a Saturday, but it's just been that kind of week, really. And we did show you some cool new stuff. I mean, come on now. Nintendo Switch 2 with its new game. That's going to be sweet, I think. Tomorrow, are you doing Fabula Ultima?
Yes.
All right.
Tomorrow.
All right. So tune into Grim Streams, and I will probably be recasting it as well. Our Fabula Ultima game, and if you want to join, we have many spots available, or at least a few.
Yeah, we have some spots available, varying week on week, depending who else is around. So,
yeah,
we shall see.
Speaking of which, are we going to get Neil for this one?
I don't know. He's away a lot at the moment.
I miss Neil. But all right. Y'all take care, everybody out there in YouTube land, and we will see you tomorrow. And if we don't see you tomorrow, we'll see you on Tuesday for Tuesday with Geeks. Till then, bye-bye. Take care.
On behalf of the staff of the Independent California Motel, I wish you all sweet dreams.